What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite for a bit of a hybrid video regarding all modes tonight. We're going to be talking about a new reveal from Treyarch, some bad news about next-gen Warzone, and some other really interesting reports. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below and let me know in the comments what other surprises do you guys want to see on the Season 5 roadmap when that hopefully releases at some point by the end of this week. I want to hear all your best theories down below in the comments regarding multiplayer, Warzone, and even zombies. But it's funny how this past week has been a little bit strange in terms of marketing. On Monday, we got absolutely nothing for some reason. I really don't know why. And then we got a bunch yesterday, from the intro cinematic cutscene for Season 5, the Activision investors call, details about Call of Duty Vanguard, almost too much, but I broke all of it down in a video last night. And then today we got a little bit of information with a couple of spicy reports to make today worthwhile, so hopefully you guys stay tuned. Now, we didn't get a blog post or roadmap reveal from Treyarch, but what we did get was confirmation that it is your last chance this weekend to hit Master Prestige in Season 4 and to finish your Season 4 Battle Pass if you guys haven't already. Take advantage of double XP and double Battle Pass XP until around, Monday morning. And Treyarch then went ahead and changed their Trouble in Terrorist Town like profile picture. I went over this yesterday. And the mode itself that is going to release in multiplayer will likely be a bit of a hybrid between Trouble in Terrorist Town, Among Us, maybe a bit of a variation of VIP, where you might have to look for a specific sleeper agent in that match. The numbers might play a role in it. I'm really looking forward to how the mode does play out. Excuse me, can't speak today. So let me know what you're feeling about that mode as well down below in the comments. But they went ahead and changed their profile picture today to what appears to be a brand new field upgrade that many insiders are claiming is called Lightning Links. And again, it's unclear what this is going to do. We almost know nothing by both the name of the field upgrade and this picture alone. I'm very skeptical on what this is going to be, since we already have Deadwire, which provides a Wonderwaff type chain effect whenever you upgrade that to the max and shoot a horde with it. So maybe upon activation, you can do damage to one enemy in front of you, but then that damage will transfer to other enemies that are in sight. A Wonderwaff like chain effect can then attack an entire horde by you just shooting one of them. Now imagine that being partnered up with Deadwire. You will literally become Thor here at Cold War Zombies, the god of hammers, of course. Another theory is having this untouchable like effect where upon activation you become invincible for a brief amount of time, and as you walk through a horde, it'll create a chain link effect of electricity on whichever enemies you touch, and that'll just continuously pass through a big horde, and boom, similar to the explosive touch ability we have in Exo Zombies. And that was a power up that you guys might not know much about. I think it was only in DLC 3 Carrier for Advanced Warfare. And that's the thing with this, right? We don't know much about this field upgrade, but maybe tomorrow's another one of those slow days where Treyarch provides a small teaser in their profile picture or even a GIF, and then Friday will be the big day when they drop a blog post or the roadmap. Not too sure, but then maybe on Monday or Tuesday of next week we'll end up getting a gameplay reveal for everything to be expected over in Season 5. We do have some bad news though regarding a next-gen upgrade to Warzone. So at some point late last night after posting my previous video, all of a sudden there was a breaking report that people had somehow found access to the patch notes for Season 5 of Warzone, and the URL did mention a next-gen upgrade. Now, to my understanding right now, it is easy for people out there to manipulate these tiny URLs and can fool people into believing something that isn't actually true. Charlie Intel on Modern Warzone talked about this report, and all of a sudden Activision responded by saying that the reports were bogus and that the tiny URL link was manipulated and wasn't actually made by developers. So as of now, people are still on the fence of saying that this could be Activision's way of trying to hush this up so that the next-gen upgrade for Warzone is a bit of a surprise. I know recently they added 120Hz support to Warzone on PS5, but when you boot up the Warzone application, it's still a PS4 version of the Modern Warfare client. And we know that Warzone is of course still linked to the Modern Warfare client if you're on console, of course, unless you just didn't own Modern Warfare and you downloaded it for free, but it's still considered a PS4 app. So when is this change going to happen? I mean, right now I'm currently speculating that we're gonna have to wait until the release of Vanguard before seeing a proper next-gen application for Warzone. But would that have to mean that they separate Warzone from the Modern Warfare client? A bit unclear, but they could take more advantage of the PS5 or the Xbox Series X by allowing you to run native 4K over in Warzone. I mean, I think PS5 could at least do that. But looking at how the URL works, I believe it was always possible. If the patch notes were pre-written before the launch of a season, you can use the URL trick, right? Just change the number of the season at the top of the URL, and it would somehow load the patch notes that may be ready for the next season people might have done that strategy to see patch notes a day or two early for Season 4, Season 3, but this time when people tried that, it will lead them to this next-gen page, and the page, of course, seems to have an error, so maybe the patch notes weren't written yet, but there are plans to create a post about the next-gen upgrade for Warzone. Unless somebody out there who knew how to do this strategy took advantage of the situation here and just added a troll to the end of it to fool everybody, to get some attention, I'm not sure, but if we end up getting a next-gen upgrade for Warzone next week, it'll be hilarious to look back at the reports today with Activision claiming that they just aren't true. I'm okay with them trying to keep it a secret, to maybe hype something up, drop a trailer exclusively for this next-gen upgrade, since I understand, right? You bought a next-gen console, but you're running a previous generation version of the application. It's a bit silly at this point, right? And in regards to an FOV slider, I know Charliento put out a couple of tweets essentially confirming what we already know, which is that the last we heard about an FOV slider update from Raven was, I think, back in April. And I think all in all, we have to realize here is that Modern Warfare was built fundamentally different from Black Ops Cold War, and that's fine. If you like one game over the other, it doesn't matter, but truth be told, right, unless you're on a PC, FOV slider just didn't work well for Infinity Ward on the Modern Warfare client, and this is of course back when the game was built for PS4, Xbox One. But then when Warzone came into the mix and blew up, of course, people do look at Warzone as its own entity, but we have to remember that it, of course, is still linked with the Modern Warfare client. So until that changes, I don't think they're going to have an ability to just add FOV slider in a random patch to Warzone, even on PS5, Xbox Series X. If I had to guess though, I would say first what matters is getting a next-gen application for Warzone that's, I would say, built for PS5 and Xbox Series X, and then after that an FOV slider might be possible. But even though I'm not a game engineer, but it seems like Infinity Ward themselves did say they had some stability issues with adding an FOV slider on last-gen consoles at least. But if Call of Duty Vanguard is going to use the Modern Warfare engine, it doesn't mean that they'll be limited in adding an FOV slider, it just means that the game is going to run out what Modern Warfare does, but they have the ability behind the scenes right now to still change a lot of mechanics up, so the game may not look or feel like Modern Warfare, but still run on what Modern Warfare does. Think of an engine that goes into a car. I mean, the engine could be the same in two different cars, but they could look drastically different, drive a little bit different. I mean, I'm not an engineer at all by any means, but hopefully that example helps you guys. Now, if Warzone doesn't get detached from the Modern Warfare client by the time the Vanguard integration happens, then you may have to wait until Modern Warfare 2 in 2022 for what I presume to be is a detach of Warzone from Modern Warfare 1, and then maybe they attach Warzone to Modern Warfare 2 somehow. That's kind of what I'm predicting at the moment. Again, that could be completely wrong, but hey, if you're in desperate need of a FOV slider while playing Battle Royale, definitely give Fireteam Elimination a shot here in Black Ops Cold War. It's a ton of fun. But speaking of Vanguard, we then have a report from the Modern Warfare 2 Ghost who said that he was told the player leveling and progression system is going to follow on from Cold War's Season Prestige, but there will be something different and extra with it. I cannot say what exactly that is, but I'm guessing we may get more than 4 per season and something cool to do. And that's the thing, right? If you guys aren't a fan of the new Prestige system, I get it, but at the very least, we all have to admit that it does create a little bit more replayability for multiplayer whenever a new season arrives, because not only do we get new maps, new weapons, new modes, but then you have 4 new Prestiges to grind through, and if you want to go past that, you can still hit level 1000 despite having your level reset at the end of the season. That's why I recommended for Cold War that at the end of Season 6, or I should say right when Season 6 launches, that should be when you go for level 1000, because there won't be a level reset, as there probably won't be a Season 7 of Cold War at all. But overall, the Cold War Prestige system essentially is the officer rank system from Modern Warfare, just renamed and reskinned as a new Prestige system, while also offering you some really cool Prestige icons, at least the way I see it. But I think adding another layer to that would work well for the community. Clearly this system is working for the current player base, but adding another layer to that where you earn a very exclusive reward for hitting that Prestige, or unlocking something exclusive for hitting a Prestige, then that would, I think, entice more players to grind really heavy throughout each season. Activision, of course, cares more about player retention than anything. Yeah, microtransactions matter, of course, but player retention throughout each season to last an entire life cycle is very important to them. So finding a new way to keep players engaged and playing multiplayer as much as possible, while also having a cross-progression system to all modes, is going to be a priority for the next few Call of Duties. Now, Call of Duty partners have already made videos about this, so I think it's safe to talk about now, but we now know about 3 new multiplayer maps coming to Black Ops Cold War in Season 5. One of them, of course, is Echelon that we saw in the intro cinematic cutscene, and that seems to take place at night, but maybe it doesn't take place at night when we actually play it. We're just gonna have to wait and see, but I'm really excited for that map. It's been in development for a long time. We've been talking about it for a long time since major gaming websites have posted information about it as of a couple of months ago, so I'm glad we're finally seeing it. But the other 2 maps are going to be remakes from Black Ops 1 and 2, and one of them is a fan favorite of mine personally, and that is Drive-In. So as a huge reminder to all you guys out there, not a single Black Ops 1 DLC multiplayer map, aside from Stadium, has ever been remade in any other Black Ops game. So I'm happy that we're finally seeing some love to that game's DLC season, because as I posted on Twitter, I much will prefer the DLC season of Black Ops 1 multiplayer than Black Ops 2 multiplayer. I know it's a hot take, don't hate on me in the comments, but the other map is going to be Slums. Now, Slums is cool and whatnot, but I shall also remind you that Slums has been in every single Black Ops multiplayer since Black Ops 2. It was a launch map in BO2, it was DLC 6 in BO3, I think another launch map in BO4, and we're going to see it yet again here in Cold War, and the map hasn't aged at all. It's the exact same map from 2012 being brought into Cold War. And I shall also remind you that Slums just got released into Call of Duty Mobile, so Slums must be a popular map for Activision if they're bringing it back time and time again. But as we got a report of from the Modern Warfare 2 Ghost, there are 12 maps left for Cold War. These are 3 of them, so that leaves us with 9 more maps. The question is, are all of the maps that just listed going to launch right away at the start of Season 5, or is one of those maps going to be saved for Season 5 Reloaded? If they all drop at once at the beginning of Season 5, that would be a first for a new season, where all of a sudden we get 3 new 6v6 maps right away at release, and then maybe an extra 4th multiplayer map for Season 5 Reloaded. Maybe the current strategy for this season is drop 3 6v6 maps right away, but then in Season 5 Reloaded, drop us a new Fire Team map or a Combined Arms map, but get all the 6v6 content out of the way right from the get-go. Now, if they add in 4 maps in Season 5 and then 4 in Season 6, that would leave us with 4 more maps, according to the Modern Warfare 2 Ghost. So would that allow us to see a Season 7 or a bonus season at some point in Vanguard's life cycle, or will they just randomly drop 4 new multiplayer maps randomly throughout Vanguard's life cycle, similar to how Modern Warfare handled its content? Again, not a huge fan of how Infinity Ward just randomly drop things without mentioning anything. I'm sure Treyarch would say something when they add new content in a supposed year 2, but just thought I would point that out real quickly. Now, I want to say I do have doubts on another main quest coming to Outbreak, so I'm sure at the very least we will get a new region added to that mode, and maybe in terms of zombies in Season 5, it'll be a bit of a filler season for zombies fans out there, where they add a new field upgrade, possibly tier 6 abilities for everything, and then maybe even a new perk. It is being reported by other insiders right now, as some major Call of Duty channels have reported on, that either Double Tap or PhD, possibly even both, are scrapped for Cold War's life cycle. But let me bring out a huge reminder here for those that are confused on that. The perk jingles for PhD and Double Tap, along with Mule Kick and even Tombstone, were actually posted on the internet close to Cold War's launch. So yeah, spoilers, there were Dark Ether jingles made for all those perks, so what do we assume, right? Those 4 will be dropping in Cold War season. We did see Tombstone and Mule Kick, but now what happens to Double Tap and PhD? Are they both scrapped? Or did they change their mind on what they're going to actually drop first? Now, what is being said right now is that Death Perception is the next perk coming to Cold War Zombies. Now, it's never had its own machine before, so I guess that explains why a perk could drop in Season 5 without the addition of another round-based map, since with perks like Tombstone and Mule Kick, those dropped alongside a brand new round-based map, right? Because the new perk machine was on that map. But then for other modes like Outbreak and whatnot, you can buy that perk over in the Wonder Fizz. So this could be the first perk in Cold War that only gets added through Wonder Fizz and not its own perk machine. I guess that makes sense since there isn't a perk jingle for Depth Perception, but which perk is the most likely of the 2 to be scrapped, PhD or Double Tap? I'd say both almost have an equal chance, considering you can't Dolphin Dive, so I guess it would be PhD Slider from BO4 if they added PhD in. But Double Tap, on the other hand, also isn't that necessary considering the health nerf and all the damage we already can do, combined with a possible Tier 6 coming in the future. Other people out there have reported on Tier 6 and Tier 7 coming to the game, and I think something that you guys may have forgotten now is that Tier 5 Jug at one point was actually PhD before they changed it to some Dying Wish-like ability. And there's actually gameplay proving that, which I can't show you on screen, but I think somebody posted it on Reddit a little while back. And that was, I think, a pre-release version of the machine when that was the case. So there's a chance that we do get PhD in Cold War in the form of maybe Tier 6 for Juggernog, similar to how Time Slip, Electric Cherry, Who's Who, and other perks are within certain tier upgrades for the perks we currently have. Depth Perception allows you to see enemies through walls and take down heavy enemies a lot easier since their weak spots become more vulnerable. So that could prove to be a good perk, but just one that you have to buy using a Wonder Fizz and not its own perk machine. Unless there's a chance that in DLC 4, the next round-based map, we get 2 new perk machines added. One for Depth Perception, and then one for either Double Tap or PhD. A lot of confusion with the perk system, but I'm sure the season will still have some exciting content for fans of all modes in Black Ops Cold War. But if the remaining Ural Mountains regions are scrapped for both Fire Team and Outbreak, I'll be a little bit upset. I wanted to see Weather Station or Mines, possibly even Battery. They sounded pretty interesting, as well as Chemical Labs, but maybe those aren't coming, because with 2 seasons left, that probably means at least 2 more big regions coming to either Fireteam or Outbreak, possibly neither. Maybe they could rework some of those regions to be in Combined Arms. Lots of possibilities with that, but as of recently, it was rumored that we are going to see Combined Arms maps added to Outbreak somehow. And I know Crossroads was a heavy rumor out there on the internet, and maybe that also allows the possibility to see Armada finally added to Zombies as well. A bit of a Voyage of Despair remaster, but that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave our thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on this hybrid video tonight regarding all modes, right? We have the new reveal from Treyarch regarding a field upgrade. We had some bad news about the next-gen Warzone application, but could turn into good news as of next week. Maybe they'll end up surprise dropping a next-gen update for Verdansk. And we also have other interesting reports regarding the Prestige system over in Call of Duty Vanguard, and even the confirmation, apparently, that we are going to be seeing at least 3 6v6 maps in Season 5. Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everyone.